How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 13 of the Vintage Breaks Lunch Crew with Leighton and Chris. The Lunch Crew, LC, right? Got it? Got it?
What's up, gang? Thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate you checking us out. For those that are new, welcome. For those that have been here since episode 1, this is our 13th episode, so we've crossed that important double-digit mark.
Yeah, man. Got 13 of these under our belt. You know, wait till we get to 1,007 and, you know.
Telling our grandkids about
it. Oh, man. Speaking of telling your grandkids, if you pull one of these cards that Fanatics has put out on Fanatics Live, as they're calling it the 10, if you pull one of these cards, you might be telling your grandkid how you paid for their college with it. They come out with a program to where if you pull this live on their app, you have to pull it inside Fanatics Live. They're going to give you $10,000 in Fanatics credit. That's not the big deal. The big deal is that you pulled this monster card. The $10,000 credit is just like a
it's interesting, Chris. Part of what we're going to do here at the Lunch Crew is we're going to keep it straight, right? We don't want to, any BS. We don't have to be so formal.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was missing something, but I'm like, wait a minute. If the person who gets the card gets a life-changing card, wouldn't you give the $10,000 to someone else in the break?
I mean, it's tough to say, because,
And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that's what I thought initially because of the caliber of cards. Second of all, and I respect what they're doing over there. Of course, we were on there. We plan to be there again. But I mean, listen, I want to be clear. It definitely instigated us yesterday to come out with our own list of 10 just for the day of rookies we were chasing, which was fun. But I would say there should be a little bit of a disclaimer if we're talking about transparency and authenticity in the hobby, like, hey, better chance to get hit by lightning. Right? You know what I mean? Like let's be honest here. The chance of hitting any of those cards is really, really difficult. And of course, that's an extreme understatement. So I feel like there could be a little bit more forward explaining, if you will, with the 10.
It could. And like our version of the 10 would be any of these rookie cards in a 10, right?
Well, no, I didn't say in a 10. I said yesterday if we hit a Jerry Rice rookie, a Henderson, meaning like, key cards from the. No, to be fair, we're not giving away 10 grand. I think it was 250 and 500. And I certainly love the thought. But I'm just saying that if you are only thinking about the revenue, it might be a good idea. But if you're also thinking about transparency and authenticity, I don't mean authenticity of product, meaning like an autograph is real or if an open product is good. I just mean you're trying to be truthful and as 100% transparent as you can. The chance of hitting any of those is very, very long. So I would just say it's exciting with an asterisk of it'd be exciting even if you weren't giving away $10,000.
Absolutely. It's gold plating. It's absolutely gold plating. But having said that, I'm still not mad. $10,000 Fanatics credits.
No, I don't think the word is. I don't think the word is mad. But as a fellow breaker and someone who also, runs another business called Just Collect, where we buy, sell, and appraise cards, and transparency is really, really key. If you had to say to me, do I believe that they were as transparent as possible with the 10, I would say they could have added, once again, one line. The chance of hitting these is really difficult, like whatever their legal team said to do. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit like, hey, if you show up and you hit one of these beauties, we're going to give you 10 grand, which sounds amazing. Except the chance of hitting one of those 10 beauties is really, really not very good.
Yeah. Leighton, do me a favor real quick. Put your hand in front of that face camera real quick. I know it sounds weird, but it has focus issues. While we look through some
the one above?
Yeah. There we go. All right, now move it down. There we go. We can see a little better now. Okay, so let's look through these cards a little bit. The first one is you have to they can turn autofocus off and it'll fix that, but like obviously the Tom Brady gold with the inscription is card 1, obviously. Card 2 is the Corbin Carroll Bowman's Best him superfractor. It's he is him. That whole
Sure.
we're too old to understand this meme. Wait, but he is him. He is not him or whatever.
To be clear, for those that are watching that maybe not be familiar with the term superfractor means one of one.
101 with the gold vinyl foil. In Panini, they call it gold vinyl. But these are all 101s. Like, they could have picked any player. They went with Corbin Carroll. I was surprised this one because this is not what I would consider one of the 10 cards. This is a sticker autograph. I would have.
Well, do remember though, I feel like Fanatics and Topps has something going on with Corbin Carroll, so they most certainly wanted, I think, get something in there for him. And
yeah,
I don't care so much that it's not the main one or what have you. It's still difficult to pull, and make no mistake, it's still exciting to issue $100,000 in bounties. But I do feel it's a little bit akin or analogous to if those 10 rookie cards we announced yesterday had to be not only be pulled in PSA 10.
Oh,
is it possible? Yes, Chris, it is possible. Chances are not that good.
Yeah, chances are a lot better to pull a Jerry Rice at 86 clear. We do that
86 Topps.
86 Topps. Yeah, we do that semi regularly, right? I mean, we've pulled handfuls of them, out of a couple boxes. Card 3. They don't have a picture, but it's a Luca Black from Prism.
Which, by the way, the entire world is looking for.
Yeah.
Of course. And I see some comments coming in here. I usually don't have the screen up. But what's up, Chris? Thanks for tuning in, Mark and Jeff and Brett. So Brett asks, what about an all-exclusive trip to the NFL Draft or Canton, Ohio, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I think that would be super cool. Some folks are making comments about Fanatics being transparent. You have better odds of winning the Powerball. That obviously can be up for interpretation. I think Chris is also saying that they do it to make it obscure as possible so that they're not paying out the ass to someone hit one of the 10s. It's interesting. I don't think necessarily they don't want to pay.
No, they want to pay.
They want to pay. I just think that it's so difficult to pull these. What I'm saying is you're talking about like how to get more people in. I'm sure someone can figure out if something's one of one that it's difficult to get, but not everyone necessarily knows what a superfractor is.
Yeah. And they have another superfractor on here with the Bronny and LeBron dual auto. The Bronny Super was hit the other day, but this one's still out there.
Chris, do you need me to do anything, or can you see me okay? It's weird. It still seems fuzzy.
I will work with what we got, man. It is a little fuzzy. Next is a card people have been looking for a long time. It's kind of lost some heat, but it's Kylian Mbappe Superfractor. Mbappe is still a monster, but soccer's down in the States. I think UEFA needs to make a United States run. That'll revitalize that whole market.
Sure.
If they start playing some games over here like we do over there. Next we have the Steph Curry Super from 910. We've been looking for this card forever, right? Like, this is a card that that we've had a shot at pulling before.
Yeah, we've opened some boxes of 09 Topps basketball. A very tough product. It's the last year Topps ever produced cards. I like Brett's thought. Brett was suggesting take the money aspect out of it and keep it involved with the sports. Yeah. And to be fair, I do believe Fanatics will do that moving forward. Mm-hmm. I think this is just their first iteration.
Yeah, and also, remember, Fanatics has something that Topps didn't have. Fanatics has access to these athletes.
Exactly.
So, the Steph Curry at 6. 7 is, they had to include one of these, the Volpe rookie debut patch, the rookie debut sleeve patch from Topps Chrome, Topps Update. Then we got the Chet Holmgren logo, man. Like, come on, man. That's not even... They could have... Whatever. Chet Holmgren. Okay. Anthony Richardson Black Finite. Good, but in the 10, I don't know. I don't know. It's clear what products they want opened with this.
Yep.
And 10 is the Trevor Zergus RPA Shield from the Cup. Hey, an Upper Deck product on here. Finally, a product they don't own. Well done. They had to get one product they don't own because
Chet Holmgren RPA, they don't own that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't own the Richardson Black Finite either.
No, or the Luca.
Right. So I'm wrong there. Hats off to Fanatics for making this, not about only about products they own.
Well, I didn't think it was about that. That's not the way the list hit me. It was just like, oh my God, I would be so excited. Forget about giving away the money just to have something like that hit. But I'd love to see us back on Fanatics with, and this is what we're working on, is basically a big, vintage, I don't know if you want to call it a hit random or repack, because everyone has their own different
Yeah.
terminology. But in terms of transparency, I believe that you can come out with 100, 200, 500 graded card edition, where the grails are going to be massive, and everyone will end up with some sort of graded card. But it's certainly fun. They came out with the 10. We'll see if anyone hits the big bounty. That's my question for you, Chris, and the chat. If anyone's listening to this afterwards, let us know in the comments, of the 10 from Fanatics, which do you think will be the first to be hit?
Ooh, I know it's not going to be that Steph Curry. I don't even know that card exists. I mean, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That one's like that product's been opened in mass and still hadn't popped up. Anyway, speaking of tens, we talked earlier about about wax packs and hitting a Jerry Rice 10. To do that, you have to know that your vintage pack is authentic and sealed. Leighton, what you do a lot? You do all of our buying for vintage packs. What do you look for when you're buying the packs to avoid buying frauds?
Great question, Chris. And the way that I'm going to address it today on the show is succinctly, because as we had mentioned off air before we got started, I think that it's such an important topic. We're going to do a show devoted to this. Maybe we're going to do a special edition of the Lunch Crew. We're going to invite some people to be part of it. If we're fortunate enough, maybe we'll get Steve Hart to join. But I wanted to preface this with letting everyone know. So my first job after I graduated from Rutgers College in 2000 was working for Mark Murphy, the baseball card kid. And Mark Murphy was the preeminent vintage and open specialist even before the days of Steve Hart. And so I was able to learn firsthand from one of the foremost experts about vintage and open material. And then, of course, Steve Hart was building his business, and we became acquaintances and ultimately friends. And so the short answer is, if you want to buy something today and you just want to put it on your shelf, other than having a buddy, like myself, for example, you could just ask a quick opinion of, I would buy something authenticated by Steve Hart at Baseball Card Exchange, because that kind of keeps it, nice and easy. He's the world's foremost expert in terms of authenticating unopened material. But if you want to get into some of the nuances of it, in terms of what should the corner folds look like, what should the roller marks look like, how should a box look when you flip the lid, even the rigidity of like the lid itself, those are things I'll be happy to expand on. We're just going to do so in a whole other episode, because I really believe that we can provide not just some great value during that episode, but for folks who are maybe not familiar with the Lunch Crew or Vintage Breaks or Just Collect, or yours truly. My name is Leighton Sheldon. I'm the owner of Just Collect, and one of the owners of Vintage Breaks. And I not only, of course, take authentication of unopened very seriously, but I take a lot of pride in it, because, like I said, it was my first, if you will, it was my first job, but I really felt like an apprentice to Mark, and felt so grateful to learn, along his side for several years. And, to see where the market and the business has gone. Mark was ultimately involved with GAI grading well before there was PSA grading of unopened material. And so, like I said, if you would like to buy an unopened pack or box, a pack, you can buy something that's PSA graded, knowing that Steve Hart has authenticated it, and then someone at PSA has actually assigned it a grade, and of course, then they slabbed it up. But if it's a box, PSA does not actually slab a whole box, slab meaning grade. What you'll do is you'll contact Steve Hart's company, Baseball Card Exchange, at bbcexchange.com, and you'll reach out to them to get the whole box of packs authenticated. And then if it passes authentication, they will then wrap it with their special wrap. They'll give it a special ID number on the bottom and a sticker. And if I'm not mistaken, some of the more expensive boxes, like an 86 clear basketball or some of the vintage that are super duper expensive, they may come with a letter of authenticity along with the actual box being wrapped itself. But those are just some quick pointers, gang. Like I said, we will get into more in a future episode.
Yeah, Jeff Spellman and Mark Hoyle said that it would have to be authenticated for them to buy. Yeah, and I like, if
some people feel that way, and some people feel that way about vintage cards, that they need to be authenticated and graded, before they would purchase anything. I certainly understand someone's feeling about that and their perspective, and certainly, Steve's a great place to buy that kind of material.
Yeah, me personally, I like to take risks, and I feel like I know what I'm doing, so I would buy one. But however, if I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't like to take risk, I wouldn't.
It's fair.
Yeah. So we have also today some cards for sale, as we do every week on the Lunch Crew. And let me show you. Let me show you the first one I'm dealing with. So this is a guy, Leighton, that you are going to become familiar with in the next coming years. This is the next guy that's going to shoot up the Yankee. I'm calling it right now. This is the next guy that's going to shoot up the Yankee ranks. This is Kiner Delgado. Remember the name. The autographs are still really cheap. I'm only selling one here because I like you guys and I have a lot of them. Like $90, Chrome Auto, PSA 10. That like it's a short window. It's not gonna last that long. The guy's 8.5, 9 OPS guy in the minors as a young kid. So like this guy's gonna get a lot of heat. His glove's great. I think he's better
What
than Volpe.
position?
Shortstop, third base, second base. I think he's better than Volpe right now. Well, better than Volpe was at his age.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. I think he's ahead of Volpe as far as development goes for his age. You sent over some really nice ones too. First one I want to talk about, like the
Oh, how much is this card, Chris?
$90.
All right.
It's a cheap chrome autograph. It won't last long at that price. You sent over a Cad Coles in a
Southern League
4.
T206.
Yes. What do you mean Southern League?
So what I mean is that he was a member of the Southern League Association, not a major league ball player, but part of the Southern League Association, one of 48 Southern Leaguers that are in the T206 monster set of
Is
500 so cards.
Augusta, Georgia?
The A?
What does it say? Augusta on the card.
What does it say? Augusta?
Augusta. I'm about to look that up.
Then it's likely Augusta, Georgia, because if you look up where the Southern League was, I'm sure that one of the teams was, from there.
Yeah, the Southern League is AA now. What's called the Southern League. I don't know if it shares its lineage from that. I don't know the history here. You just gave me something to research. I got to research the origins of the Southern League.
Well, if you and Delaney are interested, because you guys are both historical buffs, maybe we can work out a deal. I might want a new Yankee prospect. In my collection, you always have some Coco golf cards. Who knows?
Nice. All right. The second card I got is...
Well, how much is the Coles?
Oh, the Coles, you have it. Let's see. The Coles is $600 because it's a 4. Like its condition's great. Like you rarely see these uncreased and with reasonable corner wear.
Yeah, the card actually looks closer to X. Southern Leaguers in general, gang, will set you back quite a few shekels in the T206 set. But this particular example is nice for the grade. And it would make a great type example, Chris. In other words, if you're collecting a set, but you don't want to do the whole set, a lot of people just buy like one example from that set. So they can say, hey, you know what? I have a T206 Southern Leaguer. I can't buy all 48 of them. But you know what? I have Cad Coles. I'm from Georgia, whatever the case is. You can see, Chris, I'm kind of hard, man. So if someone else doesn't buy it, I want you guys making a purchase. And Elena's like, but I thought we were buying like a new grill. No. Look, Mr. Coles is going to join us for dinner.
She wants garage space, not grills. So, my next card, speaking of Georgia, this is a local Georgia boy in my favorite set of 2023. This is 2023 Topps Chrome Cosmic. This is Michael Harris in a PSA 10. Michael Harris, if you're not watching, Michael Harris is one of the most exciting young players in baseball. Great with the glove. Came on strong with the bat there at the end. And this is the PSA 10 for $30. It's cheaper than Rutzman, cheaper than Gunner, but it has all the upside of a good gap power hitting center fielder that plays elite defense. The guy's defense is already elite, just waiting for the bat to take the next step. Bat's already good. We just need it to be great. Great card. Now we're going back into vintage with your second card, and this is a Hall of Famer, actually. Zach Wheat.
So Zach Wheat is a Hall of Famer. He only has one card in the set, and this one in particular is a little bit of tougher back. So it's not rare, but it's tougher. Sovereign. And Sovereign has two types of backs. The 460 is the tougher of the two. And so this is a PSA 1. But really, other than the crease, I thought they were a little harsh on it. I thought the card could be a 2. Doesn't seem to be that bad of a 1. as far as ones go. This is a nice example. And how much was the price of this card, Chris? I don't recall.
$375 for a T206 Hall of Famer. That's not bad.
With a tough back.
Yeah. With a sovereign back.
Oh, excuse me.
It's a great looking card.
Yeah. So, Chris, I know that we have several new releases to talk about. What I'd like to talk about to start with is Flawless Baseball 2023, because I want to know, like, if you want to describe to someone what's the difference between Flawless Baseball and National Treasures Baseball from Panini, what would you say the differences are?
So National Treasures is your workhorse, right? National Treasures is your natural. Okay. Layton, I'm gonna put this. You're gonna love this. National Treasures is your good, faithful girl next door. Flawless is on a runway in Paris.
Okay.
That's the best way I can put it. Flawless is always the best looking product every year, licensed, unlicensed. Topps doesn't make anything that looks as good as Flawless, and it's not close. It's not close. Panini has really outclassed them for years with this Flawless product. It's opulent. It is manicured. It is flat white on foil with bright on card signatures. Like, and they don't allow like half signatures to go in the product. They will stop the athlete and go, no, we need your full signature on this. We're charging thousands of dollars per box. Like it almost feels like a more memorabilia product than it is a card product, although it is a card product. They put chips of gems, chips of diamonds, which I don't really like those a whole lot, but I do like the cleat pieces, the glove pieces. It's where all their premium stuff goes into, and it just has a better look to it. I do like the girl next door versus runway model.
Well, listen, it was an interesting way to describe it. Well, the audience decide if they like the, the description and the way that you, to try to explain it. But certainly, yes, Flawless is higher end. They're both great products. I know I'm excited about it. I'm curious. We're about to talk about another baseball product. It's lower end, but yet Stadium Club Baseball most certainly has a cult following. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris, even when I was a kid, in the 90s, like, it was known for its photography. And isn't it amazing that, 20 years later, correct me if I'm wrong, but Stadium Club is still known for its photography, right?
It is the photography set. And it's got some great photos of, they take the photos from the Field of Dreams games with the cornfield and all that. And just odd, zany photos from photographers. I think Randy Johnson has some photography in there. He's also got some in Bowman. Bowman's Best has an entire subset that is only Randy Johnson's photography. This has some too, although it's not labeled Randy Johnson. That's who took the photo. The Hall of Fame baseball pitcher is a photographer now. So he takes a lot of photos that are put in Stadium Club.
Chris, can you minimize the card so it's just us on the screen? Because it keeps flipping back and forth. I didn't know how that worked.
I don't have a view that does that.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the default view with the cards rotating through.
Sure.
Yeah, the gunner the gunner 101 was pulled the day the stuff came out. It's important that stuff get hit on release day, although you don't want everything hit. You don't want to deflate the product. But Stadium Club is it is a collector's product, not a speculator's product. It's not a flipper's product. You're not like, if you get a Corbin Carroll out of Stadium Club, it's worth like $200, whereas you get a Corbin Carroll autograph out of a Bowman Chrome, it's $500-$600. That's the primary difference. It's not a set that speculators flock to, although there is some value there.
Interesting. Well, I know out of the products on the list, besides Flawless Baseball, I'm interested in Donruss Basketball, because if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have Wemby rookies.
Yeah, there's Wemby rookies in that.
And they're rated rookies, which, as a kid, I love rated rookies.
There's some power to that rated rookie brand. There really is.
Absolutely.
They'll be better than the Hoops. You see the Hoops PSA 10 selling for about $80, which is softer than we all thought there would be. But the NBA's got some eyeball problems right now. The NBA is not drawing the ratings it normally draws.
Agreed.
So they got to figure out what's wrong with their game and get it exciting again. But we do.
Well, I could spend a whole episode on that, but I can tell you in a nutshell. I was a big fan of the NBA in the 80s and 90s. And the problem is, even though, listen, like when I was a kid, I loved to, of course, shoot the three ball, but I wasn't a three shooter or a specialist. It was a way for a player to specialize in something, and now it feels like it's becoming the game. And the game, it just, to me, I don't want to sound, like a cynic, but it's just not as beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I don't enjoy the game, and I'm not just saying purely from a passing standpoint. I like, the hand checking rule is a big deal that, they either allow or don't allow it in terms of a foul. I mean, the players definitely played a tighter defense. And it just seems, though, that, listen, as you just said, they're certainly losing viewership.
They are, yeah.
So
Yeah,
we'll
like
see.
it seems to me like if it's not the three ball, thanks Steph Curry, he was the innovator, the guy that really changed the game in that respect. It seems to be a little bit athlete on athlete. Like it seems to be a very ISO 1-on-1 game when it comes down to the point of attack. That
Yeah.
and the athlete will take 4 steps to the basket without dribbling. It drives me nuts. Oh man, but yeah, as you said, that could be its own entire episode.
All right. Well, the last product that we want to discuss today of new releases is, and admittedly, I don't know much about this. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But the new release of Impeccable Football is coming out.
Yeah, 2023 Impeccable Football is going to have the CJ Stroud, but it won't have autographs. In this one, you'll see a lot of the on metal cards, like basically a high end of what you saw in Elements.
Mm-hmm.
Although there will also be, and this is the card I want to see come out. I want to see how CJ Stroud gold and this is the part they put gold and platinum bars in. I want to see how the CJ Strouds do. Like I know he had a playoff loss, but come on, he exceeded every expectation anyone had for him, and should sell right up there with the Joe Burrows of the world at this point.
Larry is saying that you're not watching the Kings and the Nuggets. They move the ball well. Back cut and passing is outstanding. I agree about the Nuggets. I actually wanted to go last night to the Nuggets Knicks. The Knicks smashed them. But nonetheless, I think the Nuggets are an enjoyable team to watch. And I agree with you. I don't think the entire NBA has become that, but it's certainly more of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. It's also becoming haves and have-nots too, right? Like it's almost like you know who's going to win before you go to the game. So.
Yep. No, agree with you. All right. Well, listen, we had a number of different new releases. Let us know in the chat of the ones we discussed, which is the one you're most looking forward to.
Great. And Leighton, we had a topic you wanted to close us out with.
Yeah, well, listen, this is one, I don't know what I would call the topic other than, buying what you enjoy, the thrill of the hunt. But I want to show off an item I recently bought out of auction. And, keep in mind that anyone could have bought this item. I believe I bought it from Mile High. I'm going to start off by showing you the front of it. I'm going to put a Post-it over the label so you can't see what it is.
Give me 1 second so I can. Oh, they didn't put the other camera in the. Okay.
Do I need to hold it up to the big camera or the one in front of me, Chris?
Hold it up to the face camera. The face camera.
Okay. So this is a Coors Classic 10K road race sponsored by Coors. Excuse me. Yeah. In September of 1984.
10K road race? Huh.
I'm like, Leighton, why did you buy that?
Yeah.
So, the reason I bought it, it's not only oversized, but I really dig that it was likely signed at the beginning of one of the most, if not the most, influential and best NBA players to ever play. How about this? Look at that. An oversized Michael Jordan rookie year signature. It's phenomenal.
That is a really early. He actually wrote Michael on that.
He wrote best wishes, man.
Wow.
He wrote out his whole name as clear as day. I won this for about $1,560. And if you consider simply what a Michael Jordan photograph cost, now I understand UDA saw him sign it, but you realize that's the later version. It comes with a PSA letter, right here. And the reason why I'm sharing it is because, sometimes, like if I show this to some people, they might be like, well, Leighton, It's the back of a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I see the beauty of it. I think that it's really interesting. And my point is, do what you enjoy doing and show it off on the way. And if people appreciate it, wonderful. And if they don't, I think that's okay too. But I looked and said, wait a minute. Michael Jordan 8x10 photographs that are authenticated by Upper Deck, depending on which pose it is $1,000 plus.
Yeah.
So get this. And this is where, of course, the card, hunter in me, the entrepreneur comes into play. I collect Michael stuff, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
However, can you tell me that if a card company was doing an oversized or a big insert of a rookie year Michael Jordan autograph, they would certainly be interested in buying this.
Right. That's beautiful. Like he hadn't signed like that in a long time. And like if you come up to Michael Jordan in person and ask for an autograph, you're getting ignored or worse. Like,
oh yeah,
so very often.
I really dig it. I like that it came from his rookie year. And listen, let's be honest, right? None of us is made of money, so it can be affordable and still enjoyable to purchase. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the face today.
Yeah,
it's kind of funky.
Yeah, we'll fix it. Just you got blurry Leighton. Leighton's Bigfoot today.
Yeah,
blurry. Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed the piece that I just showed off, signed by Michael Jordan. Please let me know in the chat. Have you bought anything recently from like your local card convention or out of an auction? I would love to hear in the chat what you've bought recently for your PC. And we really appreciate you tuning in today to the Lunch Crew. Thanks, everybody.